So today we want to really dig deep. We've got the NFL season that kicks off tonight.
Yeah.
Tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Mountain Time, our time. And it's starting. So we're going to go through and look at what are these teams doing to get better, who has values and principles of success, which coaches are doing the best job, which teams, which quarterbacks, which offensive lines. We're going to unpack this and grade this out, and we're going to talk about it in terms of why they're succeeding, and there are a lot of parallels to why the most successful NFL teams succeed in coaches and players, and the same is true in business. So if you don't love football, you should, and that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Amen. Amen. So moving on to our 13 to 15 wins, the first team we've got here is the Bengals. The Bengals got better, flat out. They got better. They kept their core players around, and they beefed up their offensive line a little bit, and they're a Super Bowl contending team, one of my favorites, actually. So I think the Bengals will come out with 14, 15 wins and be one of the teams in the AFC Championship. I can see Miami. I can see the Chargers, the Bills, the Chiefs, but I think the Bengals will definitely be in that AFC Championship game.
I think the Bengals will represent the AFC.
The next here, we've got the Ravens. I think it was really good what they did to keep their core intact. They brought in a really good linebacker towards the end of last year. They finally got a few wide receivers for.
I mean, that was nice. Maybe you could have done that a minute ago.
Exactly. Lamar Jackson he can only do so much, but they finally brought in some talent at wide receiver for him. So I think the Ravens are going to be a really, really good team. I could maybe put them in the 12. You know what? In fact, I'm going to make one more shift. They have to play the Bengals twice. They have to play the Browns twice, the Saints twice. The Steelers so
twice.
I think they're a 12 win, maybe 13, but 12 is probably where they belong. 13 wins is a lot. You don't see 13, 14, 15 win teams very often anymore. It seems like
it's like 2 or 3.
Yeah. So right next to the Bengals, it seems like this is an awesome new rivalry that is happening here. What were they calling Arrowhead, Burrowhead, or something?
They were, because Burrow had beat Kansas City twice in a row, and he was really, and including in the playoffs the year before when they did go to the Super Bowl. So yeah, that's a great rivalry, and maybe the two best quarterbacks in the NFL there.
Yep.
Well, yeah, that guy from the Eagles might have something to say about that.
I don't think we can put Hurts with Pat Mahomes and Joe Burrow quite yet.
Not yet.
Maybe if he does it
he's done it 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to need to add a couple more years on so we know that he's going to be there forever. But, boy, he played so remarkably well in that Super Bowl in the entire year.
Now, the 49ers, probably the best team from a talent standpoint there is in the NFL. The only problem is the most important position in the NFL is quarterback, and that's probably their weakest position. I think Brock Purdy did something incredible last year, but it's not going to stick. He's got one of the best coaches in the NFL that put together a fantastic system, but Brock Purdy's going to have a huge drop-off. In fact, hot take here, Leo, I wouldn't be surprised if Sam Darnold's their starting quarterback by the end of the year.
Really?
I think Trey Lance is a bust. I don't think.
I thought he was a bust too.
Yeah.
We'll see. Sometimes when you get injured and you have really some time to process and read defenses and understand the process and where to find that man-on-man mismatch, you come back and you can play well. So if you put that time in, yes, but based on what I saw when he did play,
and he's not looking good this preseason against scouting. He's just not.
I didn't think he should have started over Garoppolo last year.
Yeah,
based on what I saw.
Shouldn't. So I do think but you look at it, they'll beat the Seahawks twice, they'll beat the Rams twice, they'll beat the Cardinals twice. There's 6 wins right there, right off the bat.
Do you think this is the 49ers' last real opportunity to get a Super Bowl?
Yeah, I'd have to go look at some of their contracts, maybe 1 or 2 more years. Shanahan's just brilliant,
He's
so it's
a great
hard
coach. He's a great
to
coach.
say he won't continue to keep it where it's at. But, I mean, McCaffrey's only getting older, so Deebo Samuel is George Kittle, right? These guys are definitely in their prime. It's time to go get a Super Bowl if you're going to do it. And that concludes the 13 to 15 win category.
I actually completely agree with this.
And the only team that I can see possibly getting that 16, 17 wins is the Eagles. They were probably the better team last year. I think
agree.
the Chiefs had a fantastic game plan and an awesome game. I think the Eagles were the better team. I think the Eagles have a significantly easier schedule. Granted, they do have to play everyone in the AFC East, so that's tricky. That's the one reservation with putting them up there, but they got better, right? They literally brought in a significantly better running back. They beefed up that interior defensive line. Like I could see the Eagles getting 16 wins and winning the Super Bowl.
If I were a betting man, that would be my bet, that they're a 15, 16 win team and they breeze through the NFC. Depending on how the 49ers offense is, probably see the 49ers in the NFC Championship again, and then are able to get a close, tight win against the AFC opponent, which could be either Kansas City, Miami, or Baltimore.
You're right. The NFC's on lock. It's Philadelphia and San Francisco. No one else is. I think Detroit's close. I think Dak Prescott doesn't have it in him to get to that game. It's not going to happen for the Cowboys, in my opinion. They'll win some games, but they're not making a playoff run.
Dude, even Tony Romo, I mean, he was a great quarterback at Dallas, but kind of the same thing. He just never made it over the hump in the playoffs, and Dak, I see pretty similar.
Yeah, ownership problems.
There it is.
But there you have it. Those are our predictions. I'd love to know what you all think. Let's hear what you think in the comments. I'm sure we're gonna have Cowboys and Jets haters because that's just how they are. Maybe some Raiders haters, but I think Raiders fans know they kind of suck at this point, so we may not hear it too much. But
I really was hoping that Josh McDaniels would kind of turn it around this second chance as a coach, but boy, I mean, they had all the talent in the world last year and they couldn't do a damn thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, Cowboys fans. When you're firing your offensive coordinator because he scores too fast, you've got an ownership problem.
Kellen Moore is one of the bright young minds in this game. He's a future Sean McVay, in my opinion.
Yeah, go figure.